the final part of the Castlevania 3 Let's Play on Grant's Path, and we are at the second to last level in the game. Yeah, level 9. I still don't care for this level very much, but we're gonna do it one last time and we'll never see it ever again. Thank God. Anyway, I don't get the point of that platform on the left there, because I'm going to show off that there's nothing here. So why is it there? I don't get it. I mean, yeah, that's fairly innocuous and doesn't really mean much at the end of the day, but it still bothers me. I don't know why. Yeah, maybe I'm just anal retentive. Anyway, same strategy as we used before on these and the other two playthroughs. Just wait for them to come to you, wait till they get in range, and then hit them. Otherwise, they're going to storm you and surround you, and you'll die very quickly. If you do what I'm doing, you should have no problem dealing with them. And be careful, because they can occasionally drop random sub-weapons like a dagger or a knife, and you don't... Knife and dagger, same thing. I meant the stopwatch, but yeah, you don't want that. Once you get to the side, they stop spawning in, so that's good. Why is my whip not working? There we go. Anyway, let's move on to the next room. You pretty much need to use the axe to get those, which I'm going to show off. Or yeah, I can climb on the wall that way. That works too. Nothing special, but if you want them, they're there. Anyway, you can jump on top of these without problem, but getting crushed by those is instant death, so be careful. I mean, that's pretty obvious it would cause instant death, because I can't think of too many platforming games where you get crushed and it doesn't kill you outright. I'm trying to think of some, and I'm not coming to one. Maybe like Mario, because it's kind of cartoony, so it makes sense. Anyway, this part is rather tricky, especially if you don't have Alucard to skip past everything or Sypha to blow up everything. It's hard to really explain how you get through this part with Grant. You just have to be really patient and wait. And as you see right there is a safe spot in between some of those bone pillars that are throwing fire at you. There is a safe spot you can rest in, but it's still easy to get screwed over by those guys. Especially when you're on the platforms and not on the stairs, be very careful not to get knocked off, because it's very easy to do. Anyway, we got these guys. These guys are like the weak cousins of the Axe Armor Knights. They're pretty easy. 2 hits and they're gone. Be careful for the next part coming up, though. This section. It's not impossible, but I don't get why those things are invincible, too. That always bugged me that I couldn't kill them. Now, the thing with this section is that getting through the platforming parts really isn't all that difficult. I mean, that's pretty pedestrian, but it's really dealing with enemies that come up and they slow you down so much. That's what's going to screw you over, if anything. Anyway, I don't really recommend you do this, but here's the one-up. I don't recommend you do that because it's really easy to, because you need so much time as a buffer to prevent yourself from getting killed, because otherwise you'll get the one-up, and then you won't have enough time to recover, and then, yeah, you'll end up wasting that life you just earned. Thankfully, the holy water really helps in taking out enemies very quickly. Now, once you get to this part, you're pretty much home free. Avoid them, go up the stairs, and we get to move on. In here, what you'll probably need is the last meat of, no, it's not the last meat in the game, there's one more coming up. But yeah, you're probably gonna need that at this point. Now this part is a little easier because I can just use Grant to skip past it. Of course, you can use the axe to deal with these birds. course, I have to go back to jump on it. But anyway, you can climb through the water, so that's not a problem. You think it would be an issue, because you know the water pressure would knock you back. But who said Castlevania followed real-life logic? Now, again, this part's gonna be a little cheap, but I figure it'll be amusing either way. For whatever reason, once the copy Grant uses an axe and you start hitting him with a dagger, for whatever reason, he repeats that pattern over and over again, and you get him into a lock, basically. I don't know why that happens. If anyone has a technical reason why it happens, let me know. But all I know is that he gets stuck in a loop, and I don't really get why. Because you think, oh, okay, axes aren't working, let me try something else, but apparently not. And now we're at the final level of the game for one last time. One more level and we'll finally be done with Castlevania 3, and I can move on to other things. Anyway, there's an axe to the left, which you probably want for the final boss if you don't have an axe. I do, that's why I have Grant. But it's there if you need it. Or if you die and you lose your sub-weapon, you can come here to get it. Nice slowdown. Yeah, unfortunately the NES doesn't really have blast processing. Though to be fair, that term was really stupid. This is coming from someone who grew up with Sega. But yeah, just stay on your toes. Don't lose your cool. It's easy to lose your cool when you're surrounded by so many Medusa heads. Yeah, that jump, I don't really recommend you make that same jump I did, because that's a bit risky. I mean, I was kind of playing with fire there, but just be careful. You're probably better off playing it conservatively. And you'll probably be just fine. This part's annoying as Grant, but no, actually, it's annoying without Grant most of the time because of the floor. Because if you actually stand to try and hit the bone pillar, you'll most likely just fall to the floor and then you'll get killed and you'll die, which would suck. But he can jump past the bone pillar, so he really has no problem dealing with that part of the level. And here is the final meat of the game. If you take any damage, I highly recommend you pick up. You're going to need every last ounce of health that you have available for the final boss. But yeah, get past that. That's pretty simple. And the last room in the game before, we go to the grand staircase. And I think it bears worth repeating again. In the US version, there's all kinds of bats running through this room, which is why I don't really care for the US version. I do like the whole light coming from the windows aesthetic. I mean, it's probably just stained glass, so it really isn't light, but it's a cool effect. And we're finally at the grand staircase once again. Did Castlevania 2 have a grand staircase? I don't think it did. Probably why it's not very good. Anyway, I'm switching over to the cross because I don't really need the Holy War is not really good for the final boss, let's be honest. Anyway, the way this fire works, the closer you are to Dracula, the less room you have to move. The further away you are from him, the more room you have. And be careful of the third strike with the flames he throws at you. It can be avoided. Also, you won't take damage from touching Dracula while he's in the process of warping across the room. It isn't until he becomes solid. So, if you feel like you're stuck, you can move through him while he's in the process of phasing. Anyway, we're at phase 2, which is arguably the easiest phase. Axe or cross are really the best sub-weapons for this guy. Axe has the vertical reach, but the cross can deal more damage in a faster amount of time. It just depends which strategy you prefer. Also, the thing with the hitboxes on that acid, which I assume is acid. If it's not acid, I don't want to know what it is. But the debris that comes, well, it's not debris, but like the splashing effect also counts as part of the hitbox for it, so you will get damaged by that. Even though it's already hit the ground and stuff, it will still damage you, so be careful for that. And we're in phase 3, and just like before, I'm going to spam axes. It's a bit cheap, but I don't really care, because this boss, if you try to fight this boss without sitting in the corner and spamming axes, it actually gets quite unnerving. It's surprisingly easy to fall through the pits that this boss fight generates. So I recommend just whacking you upside the head with the axe. And that's all she wrote. I'm switching back just for the sake of it, and that is the end of Castlevania 3, once and for all. Not just Grant's Path, but the entire game. Yay, I got 150,000. I don't even remember the scores I got for the other 2 paths. But yeah, that's the end of the game. Like I mentioned before, Grant's my least favorite path, though ultimately this was probably my most skillful of the 3 playthroughs, ironically. So I'll take that for what it's worth. But when I play this game, I usually just play safely and occasionally Alucard. Grant kind of gets the short end of the stick. But I figured I'd do this path just to show off the last remaining levels. I do think I ran into the issue of discussing the same levels over and over again, because, you know, most of the levels we're still repeating each other. I thought I might be able to overcome that with commentary, but ultimately I may not have been able to, so if that was the case, I apologize. But yeah, probably the last Castlevania game I'll do for a little while, because I did Castlevania 1, I did 3 playthroughs this game, so I do want to do Castlevania 2 eventually. It's probably the next one. Castlevania 4 and Rondo are probably will do at some point, though I have no idea when. Castlevania 4 is also one of my favorite games of all time, so I really want to do that game justice. Because, I mean, it really, to me, it is an experience. It's not like just a game you play for fun. It's one of the few games I can say that, honestly, it has a weird emotional impact on me whenever I play it. It's probably the music and the atmosphere. But yeah, that's the end of Castlevania 3. I still had fun making this Let's Play, and I still enjoy this game a lot. I do prefer this game over Castlevania 1, though I think, I still think 4 is better than this game. I would definitely play this over 2, and I would actually play this over Rondo, and that's for various reasons I'll get into when I do Rondo. But until then, this has been Let's Play Castlevania 3. I'll see you guys later.